What if I told you that the single habit separating people who build wealth from people who don't costs absolutely nothing to start? No app to download, no course to buy, no investment account to open, not a single naira, dollar, or kobo required to begin. And yet, most people will hear about this habit today and still not do it. Not because it's hard, not because it requires talent, but because it feels boring, uncomfortable, even pointless, until the day it completely changes your financial life. This habit is not a secret. In fact, it's been talked about for decades. Billionaires swear by it. Financial advisors recommend it. And still, the overwhelming majority of people either never start or quit within a few weeks. Today, we're going to break down exactly what this habit is, why it works on a psychological level, and how it quietly turns ordinary people into wealthy ones, without them needing to earn more, spend less, or get lucky. The setup. Two versions of the same person. I want you to imagine two versions of the same person. Same age, same job, same salary, same city, same monthly expenses. For the sake of this story, let's call them both Anna. Version 1 of Anna earns her salary, pays her bills, buys what she needs and sometimes what she doesn't need. And at the end of the month, she saves whatever is left. Some months, that's a decent amount. Some months, it's almost nothing. But she tells herself she's being responsible because she's not going into debt. Version 2 of Anna earns the exact same salary, pays the same bills, lives in the same neighborhood. But she does one thing differently. The moment her salary arrives, before she buys anything, before she pays a single bill, she transfers a fixed percentage, let's say 15%, directly into a separate account she's designated for building wealth. Then she lives on what remains. Both Annas are disciplined. Both are trying. But 5 years from now, they are in completely different financial positions. 10 years from now, it's not even close. The difference between them is not income. It's not sacrifice. It's not luck or connections or a secret investment tip. The difference is a single habit called paying yourself first. And it costs exactly zero to start. What paying yourself first actually means. Most people have been taught, either directly or by example, to pay everyone else first. Salary comes in, landlord gets paid, electricity gets paid, data subscription, groceries, transport, the occasional treat. All of it goes out. And then, if anything is left at the end of the month, that's what gets saved or invested. This approach has a name in personal finance. It's called pay yourself last. And it sounds reasonable. It feels responsible. But it has one catastrophic flaw. There is almost never anything left. Not because you're irresponsible, not because you're spending recklessly, but because of something called Parkinson's Law, a principle that was originally about work, but applies perfectly to money. Parkinson's Law states that a task expands to fill the time available for its completion. Applied to money, it means this. Your expenses expand to consume whatever income is available. Give yourself a bigger budget and you'll find ways to spend it. Give yourself a smaller one and you'll adapt. Human beings are remarkably good at adjusting to constraints, but only when those constraints are real and fixed, not theoretical and flexible. Paying yourself first flips the entire system. Instead of saving what's left after spending, you spend what's left after saving. You treat your wealth-building contribution like a non-negotiable bill, one that gets paid before anything else, without debate, without exception. The moment your salary hits, the wealth-building transfer happens, automatically, immediately. And then you build your life around what remains, not the other way around. It sounds simple, almost too simple, but the psychological mechanics behind why it works are fascinating. The psychology behind why this habit works. Our brains are not naturally wired for long-term financial thinking. We are wired for the present. Psychologists call this present bias, the tendency to value immediate rewards far more than future ones, even when the future rewards are objectively larger. This is why you can know with complete certainty that saving and investing is the right move and still spend the money on something else in the moment. It's not weakness, it's biology. Your brain is doing exactly what it was built to do. Prioritize the certain immediate reward over the uncertain distant one. Paying yourself first works because it removes the decision entirely. When the money is transferred automatically before you ever see it in your spending account, your brain doesn't experience it as a loss. You can't miss what you never had access to. And without the friction of a decision, present bias never gets the chance to sabotage you. Behavioral economists call this friction and defaults. When saving requires effort, a conscious decision, a manual transfer, willpower, most people don't do it consistently. But when saving is the default, the automatic action that happens without any decision being made, consistency becomes almost effortless. There's also something called the endowment effect. Once money is in your current account, your brain considers it yours. Spending it doesn't feel like a loss. It feels like a choice. But money that never enters your current account in the first place never gets that psychological ownership attached to it. It goes where it's supposed to go before your brain can claim it. The wealthiest people in the world are not wealthy because they have more willpower than you. They're wealthy because they've designed their financial systems. So, that willpower is rarely required. The real secret, it's not the amount, it's the consistency. Here's where most people get this wrong. They hear pay yourself first and immediately think, I don't earn enough for this to matter. If I save 10% of my salary, that's barely anything. It won't make a real difference. And that thinking, while completely understandable, completely misses the point. The power of paying yourself first is not in the amount. It's in the consistency and the compounding effect of that consistency over time. Let's use simple numbers. Suppose you earn 150,000 naira a month, and you commit to paying yourself 10% first. That's 15,000 naira a month. Invested consistently at a modest annual return of 12%. In 10 years, you have roughly 3.4 million naira. In 20 years, over 13 million naira. Not because you did anything spectacular, because you were consistent and time did the rest. But here's the part that really matters. The habit itself compounds beyond money. When you pay yourself first consistently, something changes in how you see yourself. You stop being someone who is trying to save. You become someone who invests. That identity shift is not small. Research on behavior change consistently shows that when people tie a habit to their identity, when they say, I am an investor, rather than I am trying to invest, the habit sticks far longer and survives far more disruption. You also build a muscle, the muscle of delayed gratification, of prioritizing future Anna over present Anna. And as that muscle gets stronger, other financial decisions get easier. You become less impulsive with money, more intentional. You start asking better questions before every purchase. You develop what researchers call financial self-efficacy, the belief that you are capable of making money work for you. All of that from one habit that costs nothing to start. Practical takeaway: how to actually start today. So let's make this real and specific. Here is exactly how to build this habit starting right now. First, decide on your percentage, not your amount. Don't say, I will save 20,000 naira a month. Say, I will save 10% of whatever I earn. A fixed percentage scales with your income automatically. When you earn more, you save more. When a difficult month comes and income dips, the percentage adjusts without breaking the habit. Somewhere between 10% and 20% is a strong starting range. If that feels too much, start with 5%. The percentage matters less than the consistency. Second, automate it completely. Set up a standing order or automatic transfer that moves your chosen percentage the same day your salary arrives, ideally within hours. The goal is to make this transfer something that happens to you, not something you have to choose to do. Every time it requires a decision, you create an opportunity for present bias to win. Remove the decision. Third, send that money somewhere it can't easily be touched. Not a savings account you dip into when an unexpected expense comes up. A separate investment account, a treasury bill, a money market fund, or a long-term investment vehicle. Out of sight, out of reach, and growing. Fourth, adjust your lifestyle to what remains, not the other way around. This is the mindset shift. Your quality of life is built on the 85% or 90%, not the full 100%. And here's what most people discover within a few months. They barely notice the difference. Parkinson's law works in your favor here. You adapt to the smaller amount, and life continues normally. Fifth, review and increase your percentage over time. Every time you get a raise, before lifestyle inflation can absorb it, increase your pay yourself first percentage by at least half of the raise. If your salary goes up by 20%, increase your savings rate by 10% and enjoy the other 10%. This one move, consistently applied over a career, is responsible for more ordinary millionaires than almost any other single financial behavior. I want to leave you with a thought that might sit with you for a while. Most people spend their lives waiting for the right moment to start building wealth, waiting to earn more, waiting for a windfall, waiting until things settle down, until the economy improves, until life gets a little less expensive. And the cruel irony is that they never arrive at that moment, because they're waiting for external conditions to change instead of changing the one thing they actually control, their habits. The $0 habit isn't about the money you move on day one. It's about the person you become when paying yourself first stops being a decision and starts being just what you do. It's about building a system that works for you quietly in the background while you live your life. Wealth is not built in dramatic moments. It's not built by people who got lucky or started with more. It's built month after month by people who decided that their future mattered enough to protect it before anything else got the chance to spend it. You don't need more money to start. You need a better system. And the system starts the moment you decide that you get paid first. If this video shifted something in how you think about money, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more honest conversations about wealth, psychology, and what it actually takes to build a life of financial freedom.